Okay, hi guys, welcome to the CATKing TISSNET strategy. I think it's one of the most awaited videos because you have all the people who are excited to do MBA in HR. The best option for you in terms of your ROI and being in Mumbai as well is going to be TISS. So let's talk more about your TISSNET exam. So TISSNET exam, firstly you need to understand that they have a slight change this year with the inclusion of something called as TISSMAT exam, which will be on the same day of your TISSNET. But the good thing is that is required only for 2 courses. That's not required for everybody. Okay, so we'll talk at the end, towards the end, about your TISSMAT exam as well also. Right now let's focus on TISSNET, because your interview shortlist for all the programs, including the ones which will consider TISSMAT, is based on TISSNET only. That's only the main exam. All right, so TISSNET as an exam has got 3 sections. One, your English proficiency, which is nothing but your verbal ability. Maths and logical reasoning is combined together. Each of these sections have 30 questions, and the most important, you have general awareness, that's your GK, which has 40 questions. So this is one exam which has a hell lot of GK coming in, which is why the most important thing to study how to crack this is, guys, start focusing on preparing for GK. All right, so that's your exam structure, number of questions. If I talk about the ideal attempts in each of the sections, keep it very simple for yourself. 25 questions you have to attempt in each. That's a minimum. So that at least 75 questions you are attempting. The more you do, the better it is, of course. If your GK is good, you can increase your attempts in GK. If you're someone who's good with maths, you can increase in the second section. More or less, a lot of people are usually able to increase their attempts in verbal, because verbal in TISS is not very tough. It's easily doable and manageable. Okay, but you've got like totally 100 minutes, right? And your marking scheme is also the same, 100 marks for 100 questions. And the good thing is there's no negative marking. So if I know there is no negative marking, so your ideal attempts becomes 100%, yeah. So make sure you attempt all questions, and you have to make sure these should be your correct attempts. Okay, make this as your accuracy and aim to get a 75 score. Why? Because your TISS cutoff for MBA HR, which is the main flagship program, usually is around 70 to 72. Sometimes it's gone high as 74. Sometimes it's stuck at, like last year was 71. So let's aim to make this 75. If you are able to score 75, definitely you are getting a call for your MBA HR program. The rest of the programs, the cutoffs will be lower, but we'll aim for the best program itself only. To optimize your time, make sure you are giving a lot of time to your maths and LR, because you need time to spend to your calculations, and you need lesser time for your verbal, 35 to 40 minutes, and the least for GK. If I tell you how should you attempt the paper, the first thing you should do is attempt your GK section, then move to verbal, and then last do your maths and LR. Okay, so that should be your order. All right, another big change, like there's no negative marking, but this time there is a sectional cutoff for your GK section, which is 35%. That means I have to get 35% of 40 questions correct, which is 14. So by default, 14 to correct has to be there, come what may. So make sure you guys are signing up for your GK prep at the earliest. If you all have not yet started, get access to the CATKing's GK Zone dashboard. That will make your life sorted to at least understand what and how to prepare GK for all of your entrance exams. All right, so that's about your TISSNET. Let's talk more about your TISSMAT exam now, which is there only for 2 specific programs. Okay, so now that you have understood about your TISSNET exam, let's talk about the TISSMAT exam. TISSMAT exam will also happen on the same day, immediately after your TISSNET. There is no gap in that exam, but this exam is required only for 2 programs, which is your MA in HR, and the second one is your Organizational Development and Change Leadership. So that program, these 2 programs need TISSMAT. But TISSMAT, when will it be considered? It's considered in stage 2. That means stage 1 shortlist is based on your TISSNET scores. Then along with TISSNET, they will add TISSMAT to your personal interview test, as well as your personal interview, and which happens on the day of your interviews. Okay, so right now you have to make sure that TISSMAT also have a good score. Okay, it's not a very lengthy exam, it's going to be a very short exam, very short and sweet. 30 minutes time you have, 45 questions are given to you, 3 sections: comprehension, management data interpretation, business awareness. 15 questions in each one of them. 15 marks each. Good or bad, you have 1/4 negative marking, so please do not attempt all 45 questions. Make sure you're being wise enough to select your questions, okay? What comprises of each of these sections? Comprehension is nothing but your reading comprehension, similar to what you're doing in verbal ability for all these exams. Management data interpretation is basically making it lengthier puzzles, lengthier data interpretation sets. So your graphs are more detailed, more calculation intensive, a lot of information is given, so they want to make sure your analytical or your logical ability to reason out is being tested. That's why it's called as management data interpretation. Third is your business awareness. So whereas you see TISSNET focuses a lot on your social GK, TISSMAT will focus on your business understanding, business terms and knowledge about those kind of awareness, what's happening recently in the economy. So ensure you are very well prepared for it. All right. Now that we have 1/4 negative marking, each of these sections, now in your verbal and your maths, your verbal and your data interpretation section, 10 to 12 would be an ideal attempt. Give yourself 10 minutes for verbal, 15 minutes for your data interpretation because it's calculation intensive, 8 to 10 questions to be attempted in GK, 5 minutes of time, which is like a no-brainer, right? Again, if you have to choose the order, start with GK because you will immediately get done with it. You know where you don't know the answer, it will save time. Then you move to comprehension and at the end do data interpretation because that's the most taxing out of all of these three sections. Alright, so ideally 30 minutes I should be attempting 32 to 35 questions. On an average 1 minute per question. Just make sure GK may you're saving the time so that you can give more time for your verbal as well as your data interpretation section. Alright, so this is what is about your TISSMAT. I hope this justifies to all of you guys all your queries that should I give TISSNET and TISSMAT, how is it going to be, what do I have to do. Right now all you have to do is focus on clearing TISSNET really well with good scores. Make sure you're practicing your arithmetic as well as your data interpretation on a daily basis and practice a lot of reading comprehension questions, and most importantly start studying for GK because till now all your exams had no GK. Whether it was NMAT, SNAP also this year, and CAT, no GK was there into it. Alright, so ensure you start preparing for your GK. All of you who've not yet started and who do not have access, please make sure you get access to the GK Zone dashboard. It's very well structured, compendiums made right from your current affairs based from January till December, along with static, which are the most expected questions like whether it's your top companies, the most important CEOs of the companies, the brands, the taglines. You're talking about the recent most mergers and acquisitions which have happened, and when you talk about your business awareness, the most important business terms, everything has been explained to you guys really well with tests based on the same and a question answers format, which will make sure it prepares you for the best. All right, for any other doubts or questions pertaining to TISSNET, feel free to drop in the comments, and make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any other exam strategy and update. All the best.